Everybody wants answers on Social Security, and I'm here to give you those answers as we get them. But you need to understand it's going to take some time. Now, one thing is going to happen in the next couple of months. And what is actually going to happen is we're going to see the Social Security cost of living adjustment for 2024. That is actually good news. And the reason I say we're going to have an answer there is because we know what the cost of living adjustment will be based off of the third quarter of the previous year. So that means that is July, August, and September. We're going to have those answers next month. All right? Now, here's what we need to address today. Not only are we going to address the cost of living adjustment, what it could potentially be, but we need to address why we're going to see some pushback, why we're going to see more lawmakers address additional relief, okay, boosts, increases, raises to Social Security beneficiaries. Now, before I get into all that, all I ask is if you can spend just 2 seconds, if you enjoy these daily updates, go ahead, hit that like button on this video. It really does help out the channel. Now, let's talk about this. Here's what Social Security's cost of living adjustment is likely going to be. Okay, let's look at this. It says, we'll go here. It says the cost of living adjustment is likely going to be right about that 3% range. Honestly, based off of what we have seen over the past couple of weeks and what we are likely going to see over the next couple of weeks in August before we see the inflation report for September, we are likely to see additional increases to things like food and energy. Also, shelter is likely to keep going up. Yes, other things are going to cool off. We're going to see disinflation elsewhere, but it might not be enough, which means we might see additional increases to inflation. This is part of the problem. But the good news is for people on Social Security, you are likely going to see a larger increase in 2024. As of right now, the expectation is it's going to be right about 2.8%. But there's a chance that we can get all the way to 3.1 to 3.2% just based off of the next couple of weeks. And it's all because of what people are doing. People are going back to work, which means they're using more gas. People are going back to work, which means they're probably spending money on food. Okay? They're buying additional or new transportation. New and used cars, or the prices are coming down. People are looking into getting something different. Right? All this stuff's happening. We're also seeing more people are deciding to move. Not sell their home, move, change apartments. They want something different. So that is likely going to increase costs, which means increase inflation. Now, I want to show you something else. Look at this right here. Okay? It says Fed rate cuts could come as soon as next May, according to Goldman Sachs. Next May. Okay? We are currently in August. So we have September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. In 9 months, we could see federal rate cuts. Yeah. Just think what that means. It means we are going to see inflation keep coming down. If we don't see the Federal Reserve cut rates, then we are going to see inflation start to come down even more. The goal is to get to 2%. That's the goal. Guess what? If we see a little bit of reinflation over the next couple of weeks, and that's what we see going into the pretty much September, October months, then we are likely to see possibly one more rate hike. Okay? I want to read you this. Look at this right here. It says, the Federal Reserve will likely cut interest rates in the second quarter of next year, regardless of whether the U.S. economy enters a recession, according to Goldman Sachs economics team. It says right here, the cuts in our forecast are driven by the desire to normalize the funds rate from a restrictive level once inflation is closer to target, not by a recession. So that's one of the other issues. The other one, okay, obviously where we currently sit with our federal funds rate in the range of 5.25 to 5.5%, there's a chance, okay, a chance we are going to see another rate hike of 0.25%, 25 basis points in the next month. If this happens, first off, credit card debt is going to be more expensive, and we'll get to that in just a second. But the second thing is, this is likely going to push inflation down even more, push it down faster. But again, it's not going to happen until September, which means there's still a chance that you guys on Social Security will see a Social Security cost of living adjustment for 2024, which could exceed 3%. Now, I'm not here to tell you this is great news because we're getting close to that 8.7% that everyone's getting in 2023. No, it's not going to happen. We're not even going to be close to that. We're going to be about a third of that. But at least we're getting closer. Okay? Now, here's the other issue. I want to show you this. And the reason why I want to show you this is because this is what many lawmakers are discussing. Many lawmakers have talked about over the past couple of years, people on a fixed income are struggling and putting some of their bills and some of their debts on credit. Okay, look at this. It says private debt levels are rising at a staggering pace. Private debt levels are building fast and hit new records this year. Credit card debt just surpassed $1 trillion for the first time ever, according to the Federal Reserve data. It also goes on to say down here, and you can see the little chart right there, how it just keeps going up. It says personal unsecured loans also hit a new record, notching an unprecedented $225 billion in 2023. This is according to TransUnion. Ditto for corporate debt, which saw volumes grow by 6.2% over the last year and hit $7.8 trillion. The public debt picture looks even worse. The national debt balance grew past $32 trillion for the first time this year, with potentially seeing $5 billion to be added each day to our national debt over the next 10 years. Yeah, that's something that we really need to get under control. But why are so many people concerned about inflation? Why is this a big issue? Because we've seen inflation go from 9.1% down to 3%. Now we're back up to 3.2%. Why is inflation such a big deal? And why can't we get this under control? Well, it's not as simple as just, hey, let's just raise rates, which the Fed have been doing and is causing a lot of issues for people that are putting money onto credit cards, are trying to buy a house or a car, or really finance anything. It's getting more expensive. But here's the reason why this is such a big deal, and this is also the reason why some people are saying they are now going back into the workforce. Yeah, there are older Americans that are now looking for jobs that they can do because they're trying to make a little bit more money. Look at this. It says the labor market will set inflation on a roller coaster that will weigh on stocks and the economy, according to BlackRock. Now, why would they say that? Well, let's look at some of these key points. It says the labor market is about to put inflation on a roller coaster, according to BlackRock strategists. That's because rising wages can stoke inflation, which raises the risk of rebounding prices. They say, we believe this structural labor shock is poised to take over as the driver of inflation as the pandemic-driven spending mismatch unwinds. Now, let's unpackage that for a second. What are they saying? Well, what they're saying is that rising wages is what is potentially going to stoke inflation, cause it to go back up. That's true. Because as our wages rise, and let me just give you a quick little picture right here. But what's happening is prices for food kept going up. Prices for homes kept going up. Prices for gas started going up. As prices started going up, we started to get more people that were requesting raises. Just over the past few weeks, in my inbox, okay, in email, I have received probably 10, 11 emails from people asking for help as to how they should ask for a raise. Just over the past few weeks, okay? More than 10 people have asked me over the past few weeks. This is just an email, not in comments from people here on YouTube. But everyone's wanting to know, how do I ask for a raise when right now there's concerns that, well, we could potentially see layoffs? And so you gave a little bit of help. Here's what I would do. This is the way I would attack this this potential raise, right? And what we started to see, some people were getting raises. One person, they were getting paid about $22.40 an hour initially, and they said, and it doesn't really matter what they do or anything like that. But anyway, so that's what they were getting paid. Well, then they went to go ask for a raise. Their employer gave them $26 per hour. That's a massive increase. Okay, just give you that's a massive increase. We're not going to see that all the time, but this is how important some people are to companies. And at this time, when we are seeing massive turnover, where somebody goes into one business and they start working and they're loving it, they're like, I don't really like it anymore. I don't get along with those people. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to my job over at Jamba Juice, right? And go work at the mall, go work at Target, Walmart, whatever. People are starting to change. As they do, it's actually starting to see increases. Okay, we're starting to see increases because these employers want to retain these employees. But guess what happens? This is why Social Security is also being impacted. When people make more money, guess what? That means they are paying more taxes when it comes to Social Security's income tax, right? Because the employer pays 6.2%, the employee also pays 6.2%. But if now instead of making $45,000 per year, you're making $65,000, that means you got to pay an extra 12.4% on that $20,000 in additional income. Most people don't realize that, but that's actually benefiting the Social Security Trust Fund. So right now there's a lot of stuff going on when it comes to Social Security. One of the biggest issues though is, first off, what is inflation looking like? What is the cost of living adjustment going to be in 2024? Okay, it's probably going to be anywhere between 2.8 to 3.2%. That's why people keep saying it's going to be 3%, but it's going to be right about that 0.5% range. Okay, the next thing, we are going to get more updates very soon from lawmakers because, well, for one, they are now on recess. They'll be on recess for the next month. The Senate will be on recess until September 5th, and the House of Representatives will be on recess until September 12th. We're going to have updates along the way. We will see what lawmakers are proposing. We will see the new bills, the new discussions, everything. And as we do, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All you got to do is two things. First off, hit the like button on this video. It really does help out the channel. But also click that subscribe button and tick that notification bell so you never miss an update. But that is what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on, share all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.